You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash Report.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. I'm Big Q. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this edition of PPR preview, man. This is my thought, man, a little research. Keys to victory for the Pelicans tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, we know the Dallas Mavericks come into this matchup with the Pelicans. We'll get our first look at Cooper Flagg, man. The fantastic first-round draft pick leading the team. We know Anthony Davis is hurt. Derek Lively is hurt. We know Kyrie Irving is not going to be in this game. So they're down three very good players. But Cooper Flagg is there. Klay Thompson, who's averaging 8 points a game, man, that's wild, is there. PJ Washington, who's a strict defender. D'Angelo Russell, who's a spark plug offensively. Najee Marshall, Max Christie, Daniel Gafford, who's good defensively. Those guys will be available. Brandon Williams, they will be available in this game. So we're going to do the preview. We're going to go over the injury report. We're also going to go over some news and notes from one of our fantastic rookies who broke an NBA record in the fourth quarter. This is the Joe Dumars did not guess wrong with these players. But as you guys can see currently on the screen, I have the video. This is the video from last night's matchup with one of the Pelican video staff filmed the fact that the Pelicans were celebrating their first win in the locker room. And as you can see to the far right with the red and the black dress, that is Gail Benson. She walks right in behind Willie Green, who's clapping. You can see behind her is Dennis Lauscher, the supposed president of both the Pelicans and the Saints, who really doesn't know anything about basketball or football on the field. So these are the guys that she's in full support. Now, the picture does not show Joe Dumars. This video doesn't show Joe Dumars anywhere in here. You just see a lot of the associate coaches lined up as Gail is walking in, and Willie Green is kind of clapping it up. As you can see, she is, and it's crazy, but this is just a video I wanted to show to you guys just to show you where she is involved in this thing. That'd been funny if the Pelicans have lost. We wouldn't have gotten any video footage of this. They would have kind of hit it off. But the fact that they're showing Willie Green getting his first win against 6 horrible losses is a positive thing. But now that you win, you have to get out of the hole. That is the point. So Gail Benson visually showing her support, walking directly in behind Willie Green. What a tool this guy is. But anyway, let me kind of show y'all. This is the start of the video. You can see Herb sitting right here. You can see Peavy sitting right here. The assistant coaches and whoever. This is Greg Monroe right here. Shout out to Greg, man. And these are the rest of the trainer staff and the assistant coach. You see Coach Brewer right here. And that's Coach Borrego right here. And Willie walks in clapping his hands. And we're going to play it right here. There it is. You can see Gail walks in. That's Dennis Lauscher behind him. And we're going to play the video so y'all can hear that. It's just one of these things where, like I said, fam, there's Gail there. Dennis Lauscher's back here. I don't see Joe Dumars in the shot. He could be back there. I'm not certain. I don't see Joe. I don't see Troy Weaver in the mix. You can see Jody Meeks holding a piece of paper to the right of Gail. Greg is to the left of Gail coming into the door. But it's very interesting. I just wanted to show y'all that, as you can see Willie Green walking in, he obviously is definitely, and this is what I mean when I tell y'all that he's protected by the boss, like really protected. Like, she's there for the first there, and she's just right. Just Willie is my guy. It's just crazy work how this is. But I just wanted to show y'all this video. Like, it's good they won, but man, listen, it is such a thing as fool's gold. We have to be able to continue to put these wins together, man. Now, the Pelicans, in my estimation, won by many factors, but one of the key factors was the bench. The bench refused to go down. Jose Alvarado played 31 minutes. Derik Queen really did a wonderful job and stepping his game up, which provide us the perfect segue for this article right here by DQ, right? And they don't stand for Derik Queen. It's Derik Queen. Breaks the NBA record in fourth quarter versus the Hornets. How do you mean, Q? Well, the Pelicans picked up on their first win. We know that. The Pelicans beat the Hornets 116-112 to make their record 1-6 through the first 7 games. Trey Murphy finished with 21, but it was their rookie who stole the show with 12 points, 7 rebounds in the final quarter. Queen bettered his average of 8 points per game in the fourth quarter alone. New Orleans' 13th pick in the 2025 draft has been solid at the start of the season, logging a number of good performances and broke an NBA record against the Hornets. Now, will this be good enough for DQ to earn more minutes? Remember, there was an interview we have it on this channel, where Willie Green was asked about Derik Queen and why he only received 5 minutes, and pretty much Willie Green, in his just really customary clueless way, said, well, there's a lot of guys here, such and such. No. If Derik Queen is the future, he's a high pick. The Pelicans gave up multiple picks to get Derik Queen and Jeremiah Fears. They're not going to be players that sit and develop. These are guys that will play as they develop. Their contributions will be counted on for the Pelicans to win this year. So what happens is Derik Queen breaks the fourth quarter NBA record against Charlotte Hornets. How? In 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, he had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals to lead the Pelicans the charge for him. According to the statistics by Basketball Reference, Queen became the first player to log those numbers in any quarter during the play-by-play era, which began in 1996. The Pelicans needed every one of those points as they were forced into a fourth quarter comeback against the Hornets, taking the win in absence of Zion Williamson. As you can see, Andrew Lopez, shout out to Andrew, gave the Basketball Reference and showed the points right here from Hoop Central. He kind of basically retweeted the Hoop Central information about Derik Queen. So Queen, playing like a king, has to keep this stuff going for the Pelicans. Big win for the Pelicans, but you got to remember, you got to keep letting them play. The win put a halt to what has been an abysmal start for the Pelicans, who have their promising rookies, both Jeremiah Fears and Derik Queen, can turn the fortunes around. That's because there's no benefit to taking for the Pelicans. They gave up the 2026 first-round pick to the Hawks in order to draft Derik Queen, which GM Joe Dumars later defended. And also, Queen says his job is to make Joe Dumars look like a genius. He said that on the introductory press conferences. That said, the Pelicans better hope Queen turns out to be a star, or they'll face ridicule at next year's draft. We don't give a shit about that. We just want to win. If we can win this year, we good with the pick. I think Derik Queen is definitely the future of the team. And by the fact that Zion Williamson will, having these injury situations, ultimately Derik Queen should be the guy you place in there. If Queen plays, I know naturally he's a 5, but he can be cross-trained to play 4. It's a natural 5, but he can be cross-trained to 4. He's showing you the ability. He has a mid-range jump shot, very offensive, a nice offensive game, very intelligent how he plays the game. He just needs more marination, right? So positive signs for Queen on the return from injury. It was awesome to start Queen's NBA career this summer as he underwent surgery to repair that torn ligament in his left wrist. He had a kind of suspect, he did all right in summer league, but ultimately it's showing you now that the Pelicans, man, the future is now with this team after what's going on. So shout out to Derik Queen. His contributions last night, we're going to need that from the bench. And of course, Jordan Poole, who's going to be out of this game as well. The Pelicans are going to be faced with some problems tonight. So let's go into the injury report. Pelicans injury reports clearly stipulates that Jordan Poole, dealing with left knee soreness, is listed as questionable for this game. Zion is out with the left hamstring strain. He'll probably be out for the game here. The next 3 games on the road, probably won't be back until we start. Well, I think it's the 5 home game stand. But Poole is questionable. So, somebody's going to have to step up. Zion was out. He'll be out. Eves is out with sickness again. DeJounte Murray, we know he's out until next year. And of course, our 2-way guys are Trey Alexander and Hunter Dickinson. They've been ruled out as well. So the Mavs injury report, we know about AD being out. Dante Exum is out. Kyrie Irving is out. Derek Lively is out. We know those guys are not going to be participating in this upcoming tonight's matchup as well. And of course, we know AD, Derek Lively, Kyrie, those guys are out. But they do have a nice team, man, and we'll have to see if the Pelicans could adapt to it. Matter of fact, here's the depth chart for the particular matchup. Here's Cooper, Flagg, Klay Thompson, who's averaging 8 points and shooting 31% from the field, from the free throw. I mean, the field actually is very interesting. But Cooper Flagg is going to be interesting to watch. It's our first look as Pelicans at Cooper Flagg, the 6'9" phenom out of Duke, averaging over 13.6 boards, 3 assists, and shooting 39% from the field. And he's shooting, about 31% from downtown. That's not a strong suit of his game, but it simply is what it is as far as that's concerned. All right. Anyway, as we keep it going, this is going to be the matchup, as you see. Like I talked about, Klay Thompson averaging 8, PJ Washington, who's the brute in that system, will have an opportunity. You also see Najee Marshall and Daniel Gafford more than likely will step in for those guys. And you'll see guys like Dwight Powell, Max Christie, Brandon Williams, and the rest of these guys attempt to kind of get things going on that side of it. So this is just a little touch on what we see for them in that particular depth chart, what could be the starting rotation. All right, so we take a look at the Pels. We know Zion is out, Eves is out, so we'll see Jay Fears, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones once again. We'll see if Derik Queen starts there at the 4. We know Kayvon Looney will be at the 5. Perhaps it'll be Saddiq Bey. We'll see how they all move it along. But the Pelicans do have a surplus of bigs that they can use. If they put Queen at the 4 for tonight, or hopefully they use Queen there. If not, then we'll see what kind of rotation Willie uses. I know he loves the small ball with Kevon Looney, but Carlo Mekovic should have earned some more minutes. If we need another big that can play, DeAndre Jordan is at the back of the bench. Jose Alvarado will fill in for minutes because Jordan Poole will not be in this game. Jordan Hawkins will have to step up. Mr. Peavy will have to step up. He might get some time tonight to play. We might have a Peavy sighting right here. So we'll see exactly how it all rolls out for the Pelicans tonight. As like I said, Zion, Eves, and Jordan Poole will not be in this matchup here. All right, so let's take a look as we move forward into the statistics for tonight's matchup between the Pels and the Mavs. And we went over a lot of these stats before, but you see the Pelicans averaging 109 points per game, which is 29th ranked. The Mavericks are 107.3, so they're a little worse than the Pelicans, full point and then some. Less than the Pelicans in terms of score. They're worse than the NBA in points per game. But the Pelicans give up 124 points, which is 28th. The Mavericks, they give up 115.6, which is 11th in the NBA, which is still respectable because of the ability of the scoring discipline that they have. So we'll see exactly how this all will play out for the team, but it's interesting nonetheless. The Pelicans shooting 43%, which is 29th. The Mavericks at 44%, which is 26th. You look at the three-point shooting by the Pelicans, they're shooting at 36%. That's middle of the pack. Mavericks are 32%, which is about 28th. You can see the fact that they're not very good at making them or shooting them, even though the Pelicans stats look a little back. Now they do get more. They get 29 attempts from the foul line, which is 6th in the NBA. The Pelicans at 28, but getting the free throw percentage, you can see they're 77%, and that's 18th. The Pelicans are 74%, which is 28th. They're top 15 in rebounding. The Mavericks are averaging 43 rebounds per contest. The Pelicans, you can see where they're at 40, which is 27th. The assist game, their Pelicans are 23 assists per game, which is 29th. The Mavericks at 24, which is 25th. So these are two teams that are having their struggles, to say the least, in a lot of statistical categories, man. And it'll just come down to one of those effort and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. The Pelicans average over 8.5, almost 8.5 steals per game, which is middle of the pack in the NBA. The Mavericks are 7.6, which is 22nd. You can see the blocks per game. Pelicans averaging 3 blocks a game, which is 28th. The Mavericks are a 11th ranked, 5 blocks per contest. So you can see it right there. What happens there in this situation. Now, of course, if you go back to last year, the Pelicans are 1-3 against the Mavericks. The lone win coming middle of January of last year. Of this year, of last season, rather, what I'm saying, where they beat them 119 to 116. But the Mavericks basically won that matchup for the season series. The 4 games, they went 1-3 on that. So anyway, this will be the first of the games. We'll face the Mavericks again on the 21st of November, and then again later on before Christmas of this year, where we'll get 3 games in, and then we'll have a final game in 2026. These are statistical breakdowns for both teams. Now, let's get into the 10 keys to victory tonight for our team, right? The 10 keys of victory for how the Pelicans, or what the Pelicans need to do to get a victory over the Dallas team, right? Let's just get that together and switch because of 3-point shooting, and he has to start handling this business, man. We need Jordan Hawkins to be more consistent off that bench. If he's more consistent, you can see him getting more reps because he's a shooter. Well, he's supposed to be anyway. And Trey Murphy also has to do the same thing. We got to avoid that isolation heavy possessions without Zion Williamson. Number 6, we got to exploit PJ Washington in them switches. Washington struggled against those quicker forwards. Excuse me, he really struggles against these quicker forwards and guards. So you're gonna have to use Bey to attack at him off the dribble and generate those drive and kick chances and opportunities that we can make some moves off of. Right. Number 7. You got to come in here with the energy. You're in their building. We got to win the energy game, right? With Alvarado off the bench, right? He did a really good, job. He was really, showing some energy and some intensity. Well, once again, with Jordan Poole out, Jose Alvarado is going to get a lot of minutes off the bench, and he will have an opportunity again to galvanize the bench mob and get these guys going like he did in this previous matchup. Can he do that back-to-back times? Because we're going to need everything the bench has to give along with the starters. With Jordan Poole out and Zion Williamson out, that's over 40 points of your offense missing. It's got to come from somewhere. Trey Murphy is supposed to be he's your other top 3 player there that's making all that money. Trey's going to have a big game. I ain't talking about no 17, 18, 20 points. Trey's going to have that 25 North game, like a 30-point game. He's going to have one of those games where he explodes and goes for 28, 30 or above. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, everybody has to ratchet up their scoring, from Herb Jones to Jeremiah Fears, Derik Queen, Jose Alvarado, Saddiq Bey. All these guys are going to have to level up their scoring to make up the loss of the 220 points. The 40 points got to come from somewhere, and we have to blow the team out. But they're going to have to score consistently and keep the pressure on Dallas, right? That's something that we have to look at. So Alvarado's defense, he brings that chaos. Got to rattle the all those young guards for the Mavericks. The second unit pressure must stay high to wear down the Mavs over those 4 quarters. Number 8, you got to control the defensive glass. Dallas will rely heavily on Flagg for these offensive things that he likes to do. They're going to try to use guys like Najee to kind of get in there for the offensive boards. You got to box out aggressively. One and done possessions are key to triggering the Pelicans' transition attacks. I've talked about this key before with the Pelicans, but from their standpoint is the one and done shot matrix that we get into. Like, we'll run an offense, they'll take a shot, nobody's around the offensive glass to clean it up, they'll transition back. It almost like, we're going to hit this shot. No, we have to prepare better for a potential missed shot and get an offensive board for a potential stick back. This is what we have to do and get smarter offensively, right? Number 9, stay locked in defensively on the wings. The Mavericks like to spread the floor, put their guys here or there. We know that Thompson is struggling. We know that Thompson is not having a good season right now, but we don't want him to get well against us. We want him to continue to struggle, with his 8 points and his bad 3-point shooting. We want him to struggle. Now, Russell is a guy that can look for that can light it up, and we have to control that, man. We have to look out, communicating on them switches and limit them open perimeter shots is key. This is a big key. And of course, the final key for the top 10, finishing strong and execute late. Finish strong, execute late. Dallas lacks them experience closers. If the game stays tight, Pelicans veteran leadership like Bey and Looney and Alvarado must stay poised, execute their sets, and close the door in the face of the Mavericks to get a win. This is not a win That's going to be incredibly difficult unless the Pelicans allow these shooters like Klay Thompson and his guys to get going, all these kind of stuff. They're going to have to do a better job of doing all this communicating and keeping the energy level high and make sure they kind of salvage, or not so much salvage, but kind of translate and bring some of the energy that they play with against the Hornets into the Mavericks matchup. They could very well beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight. They're not world beaters, but if you play with these keys and execute these keys, success can be yours, and the Pelicans could pick up their second win of the season and improve. This is truth. They can. So anyway, what do you guys think? I know Willie Green is going to be there. He got the win. I know I showed you guys this whole little situation right here, which you see Gail walking in with Willie Green, right behind Willie Green, in solidarity and support of Willie Green, as you can see right here. This is the story. This is the picture that I want y'all to understand, and this is what's going on. This is her damn team, and she will not be bullied into getting rid of Willie Green. She likes Willie Green as a person, and it don't matter if he's a shitty basketball coach. You can see her standing 10 toes down in a locker room for Willie Green. And you don't think anybody in that locker room that's standing up there understand what time it is? That only reason why Willie Green has a job is because of Gail Benson. That's an incredibly uncomfortable situation to coach under, because look at those coaches behind him. All of them know Willie Green has a job, and they have a job because of that. All of them know that was going. And this is what I want to y'all to remember going forward. You don't see Joe Dumars there unless he was in and I didn't see him in this shot. He could very well be back there somewhere. Troy Weaver could be back there somewhere. But all I see right now is Gail Benson stand up in full solidarity of her guy, Mr. Willie Green, right? Mr. 1-6. So anyway, with that being said, man, y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you think will happen this upcoming matchup? Comment on the Gail Benson. You can see her in full support of Willie Green, showing out for Willie Green, saying Willie's our guy. And this is why Willie Green is not fired. I just wanted to show y'all this little picture here so you understand what time it is, right? So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, in the PPR live scoreboard will be up tonight, followed by PPR final. We'll recap the matchup of the Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks. Win, lose, or draw, we in the building here. Anyway, with that being said, that'll be end of the report. Listen, y'all hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, check your subscribe button, fam. A lot of people that watch PPR are realizing that their subscribe buttons are not lit up. We see the stats and the statistics that they give to us. A lot of people that's watching are not subscribed. Do me a favor right now. It's free. Hit the subscribe button and join PPR officially. With that being said, I'm on out of here. I shall holler at you guys later on today. Much love. Go Pels. Peace.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.